Hello again, and welcome back to some more Pillars of Eternity. So, we left off last time, just as we were reaching Cadnua. We had a little bit of trouble. Oh hey, how are you? So we had a little bit of trouble last on the approach to Cadnua. There's a couple of fights in here. That I expect will be a bit of a challenge. Fading in and out. Sunny Bear? It was a little far mouth. Fair enough. Oh, hopefully it won't be a consistent problem. Okay. Oh yeah. I took a different path the first time I tried to play things. I met a day before Canal last time. Just off this Cadnua, a standing figure, a tall set, I still don't know how to pronounce, clad in war peering up at the outer walls. In his hand is a sparkle, and it works feebly taking notes upon a small square. More than one reach up to prevent his cup from falling off his head upwards. Moldy brickwork must name. He looks over at you, blinking eyes. His face split and very toothy, and he waves his parchment and
It is. Well, not the wall itself, perhaps. Construction is very traditional. There are names on some of the bricks. Workers and men, I expect, carving mortality for themselves. It's a fine keep. 2 cents name, and about nearly as long. But the truly interesting there. I haven't had much luck in reaching the cliff. I hope master of this place, I'm of Mayorwald. It seems that he either holds his most dear, or has been devoured by his house.
I came from Mayorwald as well.
Oh, truly? Then perhaps one another. The ground infested with all manner of beasts. I've never seen the like. And to risk it alone, incapable. I'm sure we could manage it. And we can both ask our question. Great treasure, you see. Gold or silver. But the Tanvi Oratoa. You might call it the Book of Virtues. Text of the Rauatai. We possess only a year journeyed in search of the rest, and I uncovered evidence leads me to believe the original just there, beneath.
And we must find it.
Excellent. Lead on, and I will be at your heels. Ah, wait. Speaking of that, I ought to first. Wondrous, I nearly forgot. I have at times followed. It began, dear, and in exam hacked outright. They do not wish for me to find what I am looking for. They say believe, told as much by one of my assassins. I paid them little humorless swords and but I bought the sword, you see. It's only fair that you should.
What are a few aside between friends?
I'm glad you're not. Come then. Knows what we will find inside.
Alright, got Kana as well now. So he was a chanter too, as I recall. Fuck it, give you just a little bit of everything. Cause being a chanter myself, I don't plan on using him for long. Well, give me give me a chance to look at some of the other Chanter abilities. Let's take... Sure. The lightning bolts. And ancient memory. Sure. Next one... Just give you some stealth. Why not? Another phrase. Sure, reduce the damage of enemies in the area. And you have a hat that gives an extra intellect, which I would steal for myself. Wear hats, being a godlike. DRT, but recovery speed negative 50%. What do you have? Arquebus. Oh yeah, you've got a gun. I kinda want that. It's 28 to 40 pierce damage. Stick keeps drifting. Oh yeah, much damage, much slower, a little less range. Not much interrupt. So lower crit damage multiplier, XD damage reduction bypass. And the 2 stock. Yeah, you know what, swap out our weapons. I'll take the gun. You can have the crossbow. Oh, and we got another grimoire, of course. What's in it? Flames, minor missile, ghost blades. Sure, he can learn his spells. Can we put this into his... I don't know if he'll actually use his quick items properly, but we'll see. Then all I care about is shit. Learn it first to have it. That off. Let's throw those in there. Okay, that's fine for him for now. And just in case he does switch during combat, let's this one. The abilities he does not have others. got dazzling lights in the other one. And fan of wind. Sure, that'll do for now. At the back. Or do I want him up front? Yeah, let's put him up front, actually. Yeah, and then Aloth and I'll stick to the back. One shadow mask still smells faint. Long spill.
Old and dry, with cobwebs in every crack. It reminds me of wood. Word and healed on song.
Oh, I didn't mess with your... Okay. Good for his AI. And
Not good.
just immediately. God, we're all dying. To death?
Word and healed on. Fighting hand here.
Okay, he didn't actually die. Good. That could have gone better. Throw down a... just in case it goes even worse next time.
Word and healed on song.
Only wheats grow in this dusty patch.
Word and healed on song.
Okay, this could go. almost certainly gonna have to rest very, very soon. Only need to get a couple of characters much better outfitted as soon as possible. Sour odors of rancid grain and spoiled fruit permeate the air. Dust and rusted utensils encountered. Rats skitter stairs.
Keeping an eye out.
Remember to
Keeping quiet.
go into scout mode every once
Not
in
a sound.
just to make sure I don't miss any hidden things. Cobwebs bind the remains of a broken alembic, a cracked mortar, and very shattered bottles and vials to the table.
Word peeled on song.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be very careful of Durant's at almost 0 HP. Hi.
Leave village! Nothing to you!
Word peeled on song.
No help here. That's it!
He's not moving.
Is he actually dead? Oh, he's alive. Hi.
You can't do this! This is our village home. The Nine Claws here almost 50. We were here long. I brought war to our land. You can't just burn it. Hey, soldier! Our warriors have all... Burn us all because... Ah.
Oh, the ghost is dead. It's not going to the Great Hall yet.
Word peeled on song.
He's actually dead.
He's not moving.
We'll reload this. We know that even if he goes down flame wisps, get back up, but then we'll right after this fight. Oh, that to start doing early as well. Go around talking to minions. I remember Durance, or Durance, or, you know, however you want to pronounce his goddamn name. His backstory and like bits.
Peeled on song.
Durance! He's not moving.
can't do this. This is our...
Okay, rest now. Heal multiplier, damage reduction. Yeah, that's all fine. Oh, and you have leveled up. Barbarian abilities. Wild Sprint. Ignore the movement stop of engagement. Gain bonuses to all defenses against disengagement attacks. So it's for charging enemies down. Blooded is bonus to damage as long as his or her endurance is below 50%. Okay. Savage Defiance. Once per encounter, recovers a bunch of health. And Barbaric Yell causes frightened. It's between Blooded and Savage Defiance for me, I think. Let's just go all in on the damage for you, sure. Throw down a save here, so I don't have to do that again if anything goes horribly wrong.
Word peeled on solid. Word peeled on solid.
Oh my. We need to get that barbarian some more armor. So you can survive the low endurance stuff. Oh, he's already trying to... Fine. Sword has been battered by the elements. Tugging in the rusted handle only produces a heavy rattling. This pillar is graven with hundreds of whorls and ridges, even under a layer of grime, and the Adra gleams.
Word peeled on solid.
Just check the map quickly. Okay, yeah, it's just this little section here we haven't seen. Skins, knuckle bones, and teeth of various sizes lie amongst the weeds.
I'll see what I can find.
Alright, that seems to be the outer grounds cleared out. So, into the keep.
Do you think he'd be mad if we sat in his chair? He doesn't have to know.
Unique one-handed sword. What am I doing? One-handed sword. Is it any better than your scimitar? Lower damage. Same speed, same interrupt. Slash and pierce damage, whereas the saber only does slash, despite the saber being slightly higher. What are these properties? 20 grazes converted to hits is pretty good. Extra accuracy and damage against spirits. More constitution, but lower will. No one else really uses one-handed swords. You know what? It's not bad. Sure, throw it on. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it looks cool. Go ahead and throw down another save just in case.
Word of field of song.
Did not work.
That's embarrassing. We've lost the angle. Stay with us. Cut out for a star. Stay with us. Can't be.
To keep stunning everyone and then just killing them before. I don't think there was anything up in the box at this point, but I'll give it a quick look anyway. Basically, place is falling apart and old. Okay, nothing up there. As you come to the end of the hall, you perceive an inviting warmth radiating from a grand throne wrought out in marble, its masterful artistry out of place amidst the castle's more practical stonework. The veiled face of a woman is carved above the throne's backing, watching over the room with hollow eyes. At your approach, you feel the warmth fluctuate, as though stirring. A voice rings out from the carving, permeating the fortress through stone and air.
Another watcher in Cadnua, glowing very brightly indeed to these eyes. What strange happenstance.
I'm looking for Mirwald. Let's just talk to the statues. Fully normal, sure.
As am I. If you should happen to find him, I would be glad to know of it. Each day's absence brings new dust to my halls, new cracks to my stones. It's shameful is what it is. The Earl would let it come to this. You are free to search for him here. I will unbar the way.
He said these were your halls?
Not as a land is its laws, more as a child is its mother's. This castle was my design, you see. The Earl appointed me to do it. I was getting on years. I knew it would be the only chance to build something magnificent. When it was built, I couldn't bring myself to part from it, to go back to my lonely home. I begged the Earl to let me take care of it. It was all I wanted, and he granted it. Years later, when Bereth's usher finally came calling, I begged the Earl to find a way to let me remain, and so he did.
Tell me more about Mirwald.
He was a great man. He came here one day, young with long hair and polished armor, and he banished the dark things that had come to lurk in this place after centuries of neglect. He could see the beauty of this place, the way it had been, so he claimed it for his own when no one else would take it. We worked together to restore it. But he began to grow distant some time ago. He never told me why. He retreated deeper and deeper into the keep, never leaving, sending servants for food, hiding himself from my sight. The restoration stopped. Now, to look at the place, you'd never know the progress we'd made. In most places, it's worse than it ever was. And all I do is watch it crumble around me.
Any idea where I can find Mirwald?
I can feel his presence faintly somewhere deeper inside the keep. But he uses his gifts to confound me, and my senses are dulled while he does so. I only wish I could know his mind.
Are you imprisoned in that throne?
Imprisoned? At times it feels that way, I suppose. But it's more that I reside here. The throne was brought up from the ruins, one of the first found. As a last favor to a dying woman, the Earl arranged for me to be moved into it. Audra is an accommodating vessel for a soul. Oh, it's not as confining as it seems. I can feel the keep from here, and all things that are tied to it. There's something about this throne and its construction, or maybe something about this place.
What Earl were you speaking of?
The Earl of Yenwood, the original, in fact, when Deerwood was a colony. He found this site, the only ruin Ere Glanfarth refused to defend, and he believed its wealth would be great. The keep was his way of defending his family's claim, and that claim became his obsession. He had to know what lay beneath. He devoted his life to excavating the ruins below the keep. They had been sealed with rock and soil, deliberately it would seem. Past, and with them the earth. He dug his entire never found what he sought. His obsession became his son and his son's sons. And one day, that young Earl broke through.
What did he find?
An endless maze, incomprehensible in its construction. He would never come to learn more than that. Vile things had taken residence there, vile and dangerous. They poured up through the keep and slew residents, the Earl among them. After that, the keep remained abandoned, unused, wasted. Meowall's mastery of this place was the first hope I'd had in 200 years. How I've longed to see it as it once was.
Oh, 1 second. Okay, sorry.
I can only guess why all this has happened. I fear I've wronged the gods putting this place here, and they've doomed me to watch it wear away into dust. To witness my own folly.
Farewell.
Take care in your search. Many dangers lie in wait here.
a level up. I want a point in athletics so I can use second wind. Then more mechanics. New invocation, hell yeah. No new summons, still just the skeletons and phantom. Sure, let's take white worms. We can start exploding downed enemies. Yeah, sure, we'll take ancient memory. Why not? Also, trying to remember what other talent we took was. Buttons. Oh, just for all ranged weapons. That's fine.
There's my little soldier. Been out playing soldier again, have we? Go wash up and come help me shuck these peas.
Why is this not voiced? And no complaints, you gotta eat your vegetables if you want to grow up strong and be a real soldier one day. Just like we did, right?
Soldiers are important people. They defend the weak and punish the wicked. You're too young to understand now, but there are lots of wicked people. People like the man who murdered your father. You were born, the Glanfathans attacked settlers like us. They said we'd knocked over some of their special Adra rocks. That's why they call it the Broken Stone War. They got very angry, and so they came to our villages and killed many people. Your father was one of them.
He was one of the people the Glanfallans killed. That's what I said.
That's why you'll be a soldier one day. To protect and to avenge. Why don't you go back out and play? I'll finish up here.
Yeah, we're just gonna talk to ghosts. No one else in the party can see. Hooray, spiders.
Healed our soul. Love.
Hooray, lots of spiders. Okay, that's a cone. A cone that I can't control very well. Let's just pull some skeletons up.
Steady does it.
Nice and quiet.
Just making sure
Let's
there's
see
no
what lies
secret
this-
things I'm missing. Doesn't appear so.
Word field of sound.
Yeah, Timothy's kind of blocking the entrance there. No one else can get in, so yeah.
Stand together! Stand together!
Crowlock 10!
New orders, Lieutenant. Ready your squad.
A patrol man arrayed in armor and an officer's cloak studies a single sheet of paper. See straight through it to the decal and nadir insignias on his breastplate. He seems to read over the page several times before looking up at you. When he does, his expression is unreadable.
There's been a change of plans. Take your squad and march south all the way to the bow in the river. Bring a wagon team and a dozen barrels of pitch. The instructions come from Admeth Hadred himself, which means they might as well have come from the Duke. We're to burn those hut dwellers out. Set fire to the deerwood so they've no retreat. Down when they come out. Or let them blaze if they won't. It'll make this even shorter than the Broken Stone War, all right. And we can hope it'll discourage future conflicts. I know this is personal for you. It is for many of us. But understand, we're doing this to end this war, not to continue the last one. Remember that we're flushing out the enemy, not burning villages for sport. Bareth will have his work cut out for him tonight.
And what does
Yeah,
the
it seems some of the
flame
ghosts
reveal?
can see and
Let's see what lies
talk
in
to
this-
me, and others can't. It's hard to tell which is which. Oh, he leveled up. Ader. Or deer. However you wanna pronounce it. Extra knockdown per encounter. Defender mode. Sure, take defender mode. Why not?
We'll take
Hell's
those
starting to look
farmers
a
by
little low.
surprise. Almost time. Di and Heather scouted the village last night. They're rounding up the rest of the party now. Don't worry. Everyone remembers the raid was your idea. The Rio had to go along with it after you'd gotten the rest of the clan riled up. No one wants it said that the Nine Claws were too cowardly to stand with the rest of the tribe when the foreigners desecrated our ruins.
Real? You may not like them, but they're our elders. For now. That was clever, drawing the support of the community first. By the time you approached the Rio, they had no choice but to support us. There's no doubt you'll join the ranks one day, so long as no farmer's pitchfork fails you tonight.
The tribes need more leaders like you. Women who value deeds over words. You were right. We were too soft when the foreigners first came, and now they humiliate us. We'll be soft no more. The invaders will learn to leave us alone once and for all.
Not sure how I feel about this. Hope that helps.
Hi.
No. Keep away from us. Leave us!
Maybe we should come back later?
Are you Merwald? He looks up over his hand, the muscles around his eyes twitching, and begins whispering to himself in sharp hisses, as though having an argument. All at once he stops shaking, a sudden calmness falling over him. His head tilts forward slightly and he looks at you, dead in the eye, like a cornered animal about to pounce. His voice turns suddenly raspy.
Mayor Wald isn't here, and he isn't fooled. He has sent for no callers. Be gone, deceiving spirit!
I'm a watcher. I met a woman in Gilded Vale who thought you could help me.
Mayor Wald will speak with you, but you will maintain your distance, or you'll have me to answer to.
Come to speak to Mayor Wald? Mayor Wald, whose touch is poison? Mayor Wald, who knows not his effect?
I was told I am a watcher, and that you could tell me more about it. And about a tablet of some worth after that, once you teach the course.
A window. Window to the ether, where spirits dwell. Peer and reach into it. Speak and listen through it. A watcher sees souls, reads them, knows their pasts, souls of the living, souls of the dead. An empath, and the souls see them back. Used it to help beings in both realms, did I. What the gods wanted of me, thought I.
The gods put me in the world for vengeance, and I obliged. It was the gods' wishes that we protect those lands. My way was the only way to remove the foreigners.
Little I knew.
I was accosted by spirits on my way here. What do they want?
No, no! Forgive me! Forgive me!
You seem to have lost your mind.
Lost? No. Found more of it. Too much. Too much to bear. An awakening.
How could a simple awakening have driven you to this? You mean you remember your past lives?
Something reminds. Memories stirred. Memories before birth. Other bodies. Other times. Memory. Personality. Identity. Any might resurface. Or all.
And I seem to be having a conversation with several of them right now.
Ghosts of the mind. Meowald has lost control. Meowald's body no more.
The spirits I passed, what are they?
Spirits and not spirits. Always whispering to Meowald, reminding him of his mistakes. No sleep. Watchers see memories before them, form them from the essence of their own souls. Once Meowald awakened, he could not make them leave. Gave them more form, not less.
The spirits are memories from previous lives?
Troubled memories, angry memories, pulling Meowald back, reminding him his mistakes. Marauder and soldier, soldier and marauder, how could they know?
How do you tell a spirit from a memory?
Fragmented are memories, stuck in time, mindless, cruel, never far.
Why do these past lives still trouble you?
My fault. All my fault. Soldier and marauder, soldier and marauder and Meowald. No forgiveness for what's past. No undoing what's done. No sleep. No sleep for the Watcher. War there was all around. War of stone, war of tree.
He's talking about two different wars fought back to back, long time ago. The Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees. The usual conflicts between locals and settlers getting out of hand, both of them. Some folks are still mad about what one side did to the other.
Death we brought to the settler men. We, the 9 claws. Claws of 9. Worse what we did to the women. For love of the gods. The gods' love. For their love.
I met one of your memory spirits. There was talk of raiding a village. Merwald's voice becomes raspy, and he's somewhere else in place and time, speaking to someone unseen.
Hold her down. Head her. Give this Addy a bitch an heir that belongs in Air Glodfath.
Merwald cringes, himself again, watching something he can't bear to see. Shaking his head over and over, he wails. His soul is marked by flame. Those marks will never heal. His trial has broken him, but better that than to live in weakness. Your time. It's over now. It was long ago. Continue when you're ready.
Boy. The boy. The baby boy. The boy. Conceived in the raid. Conceived by force. Vessel for Marauder. Slain in the raid. Marauder and the boy. Marauder and soldier.
A baby conceived by the raider? What do you mean it was a vessel for him?
For the soul. Marauder's soul. Same soul. One soul. Boy's soul. Marauder's soul. Raised in lies and vengeance. Raised to soldier. Raised for the fire. Born for the fire.
Then that was his mother I met in the keep. She told him his father was killed by the raiders.
You'll get no pity from me. The crimes of the 9 Claws clan in the last war are still unavenged. But the gods are just. They have led me here. In my father's name, every one of you will burn. Light it.
Burning is... And why not if they'd been wicked and earned their punishment? He's weak of mind and soul. See him cower before the flame. That should give you the measure of him. Merwald's shoulders slump. He rocks back and forth, agitated. He mutters to himself, oblivious to your presence.
Soldier and order, lies and vengeance, and dead villages. All dead. All dead. What for? What for?
I see no reason, just bad luck.
How little we know.
I've seen apparitions like those before, elsewhere, since I became a watcher.
Oh, no, 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 no. You too. You too. They will take you too.
A watcher's not to be trusted. What's to be expected when one makes a habit of seeing what's not meant for mortal eyes, if not madness? Looks as though our journey together may be a short one. You're saying I'll end up like you.
So fragile, the Watcher's mind. So real, his memories. Once awakened, how can he sleep?
If I'm awakened to a past life, how would that have happened?
You were reminded of it. Strong memories, lingering lives, they dwell near the surface, waiting to be remembered, waiting to take your mind for their own. Meyerwald sat at his hearth and watched his fire, watched the wood burn. Then came the memory of another fire and burning wood and screams.
There must be some way to make the memories go away.
No, always there, always remembered. Can't forget, can't unsee.
I didn't just remember. Someone caused this. They wore masks and spoke of books and keys and a queen. There was a man there. He seemed familiar to me.
Keys of lead, books of burden, queens that were. Known to me are they, the leaden key.
The leaden key? It seems we share an enemy in Israel. Assassins and watcher wakers both. Only keep busy. What can you tell me about this leaden key?
Secrets, secrets, and deceptions, and schemes. Who knows their answers? Not they. Not they. Crossed them before. Hatred of watchers, hatred and fear. Much we see. Threat to secrets.
Who is this queen they pray to?
Woodica, goddess, crown shattered and body burned. Binder of oaths and grudge holder. Bearer of justice, but hooves.
If the leaden key caused my awakening, undo it.
Many secrets do they keep. Unawaken? Mayhap. Who else if not they?
Do you know where I might find the leaden key?
City of Defiance, never far from the Queen.
I need to go so I can search for this man from the leaden key.
Sleep well. Sleep well.
Hold! I know your will die. Your actions were seen. You would sooner betray daddier land thieves than take orders from me.
Take it easy, I'm not gonna betray anyone.
Your betrayal is for nothing. Your warnings are lost on these foreigners, and their blood will be Gallowayne's tribute this night. I have asked the elders for the honor of claiming your head as my first trophy, and they have granted it. Beg for the Seeker God to grant you a quick death.
Oh, guess we're fighting him now.
Word healed our soul.
Hold on. I want to get back over here. You should come over here with me. Everyone else is fine. I want you try and keep yourself alive.
True.
There is a change in the air of the keep. What was thick and suffocating feels to you somehow more breathable, as though yielding to a concrete invader. Merwald's body lies inert. You can feel his lingering there, uncertain. There's something unique about this soul in this place. A bond formed in decades of inhabitants and lordship that feels somehow palpable to you, as though even in death the keep knows its former master, and the former master remembers his keep. Speaker to the breathless. In your mind's eye, the bond seems to use a frayed rope, ghostly and alive, its frayed ends writhing like tide pool anemones, and you find that if you concentrate on it, you have the ability to manipulate its strands. Bind his soul here as an eternal warden. By repairing the rope, sever it to allow Merwald to pass from the world, or draw upon the energy of the rope itself, siphoning knowledge from the connection. I think if I do an evil playthrough, I'll definitely go for that one, but that's not this one. Question is, if I was to bind him here as an eternal warden, would he still have all of his internal conflict from past lives, or would he be able to hang around with a clear mind? Although if I was to allow him to pass from the world, what's to stop him reincarnating and ending up in exactly the same position? I might keep him here for now if I'm gaining the ability to manipulate bonds like this. Maybe I'll be able to sever it later if this is a bad choice. Sure. The frayed pieces twist and fuse, and as the bond strengthens, the fibers become metal, and the rope becomes a chain. This sounds like it was a bad choice. Shit. You watch as Merwald's soul recedes into the floor, melding with it, spreading thin across it until it is one with the entire place. A silent guardian. Shit! This was way more evil than I wanted it to be.
I suppose it can't be helped.
I'll see what I can find.
It's no trouble. Hope that helps.
The autosave was before that whole conversation and fight. I might go back and change this after.
You cannot wait that older set? I don't want to discuss it.
There's more enemies through there. Hold on. Kano has something to say. We've got a couple level ups to do. New level 2 spell. Rebounding ball of fire. Ray of fire. Mirrored image, deflection bonus, reduced with each hit taken. Penalties to perception, intellect, and resolve. Increases the chance of crits. Temporary increase to max endurance and health for himself. Blind. Combusting winds. Confusion could be helpful. Let's just go with a nice damage thing. Sure. And a new talent. Boosts deflection. Smash enemy with a grimoire. Negate enemies damage reduction. Sure, give him some DR bypass. Or a bonus first level spell. So an extra use every rest. Oh, that's actually too good. Yeah. Definitely go and bonus first level use. Endurance is leveled as well. You keep dying a lot, so give me some athletics so that second wind's a bit more powerful. Enemies burn damage from Holy Radiance. Dazes enemies. Accuracy bonus with sword and arquebus. Leveling from Holy Radius, but endurance would gain bonus to attributes and movement. Oh, bonus first level spell, yeah. Also go with that for him. Kinda. I don't plan on keeping you around too much longer, so like, just throw it into anything. New first level invocation. Increases ancient memories, healing capability. We'll go with that. Then let's talk to everyone. You've got nothing new. Can't talk to you because you're a mercenary. Hey, Ader. Never really spoken to him much. Well, I guess talking to crazy watchers better than talking to a watcher at all. I want to ask something about you. What did you do before this?
Oh, other than the war, I never strayed too far. Found me. Farming, mostly. I was never in cities. Never learned a trade. In my younger days, I thought I was going to go preach the word of Aethys. Just in our temple there. My parents encouraged me. I made so much trouble growing up. They used to say it'd be better if I got in good with the God of Redemption. Of course, blowing him up probably didn't help my change there. But if anyone forgive you for blowing him up, it'd be Aethys.
People at Gilded Vale really kill you?
They, they did. It was strange timing, because we just won the war. They celebrated when I came. There was music and dancing. Trumbull used half his grain making this big honey cake. I still dream about that cake. Like having the best for a year of life, but only for one night. We're all sorry to hear about my... Took a while for word of the purges to reach us. Aethasians being murdered in the streets. Cold morn in the light. No way would they let something like that happen in Gilded Vale. That's what they all said. But the weeks went by and the purges... Pretty soon they weren't so sure my brother fought for Deerwood. And they weren't so sure I did. Caught me by surprise after all the celebrating. Should have seen it coming after the tailor said he was gonna fit me for some new clothes, but then all he wanted was my neck measurement.
Really?
Nah, not that last part. But you had to think about it. Says a lot about the place I've been calling home all these years.
I like Gator. He's great. He's just dark, but make jokes. Why did you stay so long? Why did you stay for so long in a town that hated you?
Well, I'm sure my parents are still wondering a thing. The Aethasian purges were like this madness had come over the town. Disease. Seems like when you see something like that, your instinct is to wait for it to pass, even when you know it probably won't. The family whose farm I worked on, they had a little girl. And they heard the Animancers had this cure, salvation it was called. They went running. This salvation, they were putting souls in children. You might have heard about it, giving them enough personality to care for themselves. And guess how that turned out? Matter of time, the children broke down, became wild things, monsters. Anyway, these farmers put the family dog's soul in their little girl. For a while, the girl, she's making eye contact, she's feeding herself, albeit in a kind of messy way. And one day, they found her gnawing on her bones. Had to chain her up, put her in a cow pen. Well, the mother, she wouldn't have any with the girl after that. But the father, he'd visit every day, feed her chickens, toss water on her once in a while to get the dirt off. Most of the village, they'd whisper about him. Poor man, they'd say, sick with grief. He was just waiting for his daughter to look up one day and recognize her papa. He was waiting for her to get better. Didn't understand the time, of course, but these days I think about him a lot.
Do you have any family? Just my parents now. They took a ship back to the purges started. Wanted me to go with them, but I didn't see things like they did. Been a long time since I've seen them. I really should, but for some reason I haven't much felt like leaving home. Good thing they chased me out or I left.
What's on your mind?
I was wondering about...
It makes two of us.
What is there to know about Aethys?
If you're looking to find religion, maybe start with a god that hasn't been burned to dust, but I won't stop you. Aethys, he was a young man with a silver crown. Carried a candle around with him. Sounds like I'm giving a bad eulogy here.
He was a lot of different things to different people, I guess. With redemption, light. Out in the country he's gone, the farmer, who helps all things pass, seasons and both. He watches over the weak, does gone. These imbalances made right. You could see why righties around here might take a liking to someone like that. He was real popular here for a time. Days you won't find too many worth this in the open. It's hard to know who still does it in private and who's given up. Feels like I'm the last one sometimes. If that's the case, he deserves a mourning. Do you still worship Aethys?
In my way. I don't suppose he expects me to the temple these days. Not much left to do for him other than keep his memory alive and keep hoping that he's just been playing a joke on all of us these past 15 years.
Far as I know, said anything to anybody since the hammer detonated. Why worship him then? Well, if it turns out he's not dead and I gave up on him, I betrayed my god twice. Even the god of redemption's got hopes. I'd probably be born as a fat Ammo's horse. That's not really all of it anyway. Guess I still believe in the things he believes in. I just hope death doesn't mean the death of those things. Sometimes it looks. Why did you choose to work this in the beginning?
My family's been Aothasian going way back. Suppose it wasn't much of a choice at first. Don't know for sure why my family started worshipping him. Probably because of Gon looking after folks like us.
Could just as well be that my ancestor did so bad only Aethys could forgive. It'd explain a lot about where I got some of my less respectable traits. Did you only worship him because that's how you were raised?
Mm-mm. There was something I genuinely liked about Aethys. Always. Like he understood people better than the other gods. Knew all our flaws and weaknesses, and accepted that. Folks are at their worst when they're afraid. A god like Aethys, you realized there was nothing to fear. Made you a better person. Of course, he goes away for a few years, and what happens?
What made you think that one didn't speak for Aethys?
Was his actions. Not when he started his rebellion, and not even when he took over Raid Ceres. It was when he sent him to Deerwood.
Up to that point, up for his people. That's what Aethys does, at least the Gon part of him. Those farmers were starving, and their government didn't lift a finger. I figured if it wasn't Aethys himself, at least he had the right idea. But then he sent armies across the border. He even crossed it himself in the end. Word was he was chasing refugees that escaped the rebellion, wanted to punish them, and punish us for allowing them to live here. That just didn't fit me. Those are the deeds of a god. Sky, or Whitaker maybe. Or just a man who'd lost his scent. I still have trouble, but there's no one left to ask. Tell me about the purges.
You sure you don't want to talk about something more pleasant? Like the war trees or the legacy or something?
It's eye-opening, seeing just how naked you are when you've got no god to protect you. The Saints' War was a hard time to be a dude. People thought it was times. They talked big we were going to defeat a god. I don't think there was a man from here to the White March didn't think he was going to die. Something to you, thinking you're going to die at someone else's hands. There's a rage that comes, indignation. Imagine a whole country full of that. It had been Cold Morn that started it. Town near the border. They went march right on through. Rest of Deerwood cursed their names till the war. Some Aothasians there that persuaded the town not to oppose the army. Others said it was just cowardice. It was like the legacy that no one knew the real, so they just picked whichever one best suited what they wanted to believe. Either way, that town was burning before the first ashes of it hit the ground, and it felt good to the people here to be in control after being so helpless. So the fires spread. A lot of us Aothasians went the way of our god. There were from the Church of Magran that she really commanded the purges. I found that hard to believe. It sounded to me like people doing what they wanted, wrapping their god around it like she was a cloak. Then again, that's what I thought about it. Durance, you're a nightmare.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skidding your heels on the wrong door.
Why were we meet? The why of it, you're a watcher. A watcher runs two roads a why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you. But now, seeking out watchers is what I do. To put the truth to them. See which of the two ways truth. What kind of... You're a dry field in need of a harvest burning, or you're lost in... Hey, you can see differently. I can tell you notice the staff first off. Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flames, but your eyes traced the path that I could see. Which are you, a dry field or lost in the darkness? The day we don't trade that question back is the day our paths no longer need to be joined, and the trial is done. So you don't know either. You know this nation is diseased. Don't need sure to see it in the children, ticks, the men that stalks with knives in hands and murder in their eyes. This land needs life again, new seeds planted in the burned soil. Something tells me you can see the path to making it happen, Watcher. And always does. So then, we need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, don't need any more lies blinding them. Nor do you test a truth. You don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course. One truth to match another. Matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Priests can keep their teachings and rantings. For my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. And when you knock one truth against a leg, why, both legs are firm. But if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, well, cripple with but one leg to stand. Is that why you carry that staff? Is that why Words are worth listening to, Watcher. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see.
The cost of troubling me seems to worry you little.
I wanted to ask about the region and its history. Can you tell me about the Hollow Barn?
That's a curse that goes deeper. It's a god hammer of a different sort. And like the god hammer, it was made by men's hands.
All things have a price, left unchecked. Faithlessness, virtues, it leaves marks in souls, until souls don't have the strength to enter bodies that are pure. Animancers, ciphers, all who play games with the fabric of souls are to blame for the barren field they leave behind. Watchers can do the same. Some simply watch. Others try to weave souls, them as surely as wide wind live and dare. That's why I correct the Hollow Barn when I fight them, and the ones whose hands to the seat being spilled in the ground. Correct the Hollow Barn?
There are fewer souls. There are more vessels. It is simply equal to the process.
So it doesn't bother you to end them?
I feel more remorse in putting down a gathering hound. A wicked, less than a its misery. Murder is a kindness crime, always has been. I would sooner put to those who are to blame in sin. If any spirit should be punished, it's theirs.
And who? The fields of the Deerwood are filled with weakness, ripe for those that play with souls, minds, animancers and their kind. Watchers, too, bear more of the burden than their victims, and more of the punishment. Every year has seen crime, the Saints' War, the Hollow Barn, and the Salvation. There's no proof others are to blame for these events. There are few who can shape a soul in such a fashion. Watcher, any true born in the Deerwood would be able to do the crime even if they did not call. Silence itself. Why don't you end me then?
Murder you? I would not grant you any of them. The mercy I grant born. You would not be deserving of it.
You'd equate murder with...
Murder is an old word. Is letting a soul fly free to the next body. True punishment? Ruining someone to their soul. Crack their spirit like you would crack their skulls with a staff. Beat them. Hurt them in mind and body. So their souls become sharp. But you leave it inside the vessel. A bag of glass to either choke on it or through their bloody stoop.
Harsh.
Leave it in me to think on it, like planting a new field with the right seed.
That sounds like you've committed it to memory.
Many may I make upon flesh, but flame marks that cannot heal. Margaret dictates true punishment is one that remains memory, in the soul, of flesh. Even should the victims die, slowly or sometimes by their own hand afterwards, the lesson lingers, burned in their flesh.
That seems harsh.
Have you seen a man branded by flame? He remembers it always, in every waking movement. It is writ in the only vellum that matters, blood and flesh. One can burn the soul as well. It is an art, and I do not take pleasure in it. But there is more at stake than forgiveness. Many of Aethys's faith were in the purges following the Saint War, and the ones, the children, they were worse.
What do you mean?
We did what must be done. Wherever they were rooted out, their souls claimed. And if they couldn't be reclaimed, we ensured they never inhabit another body.
Do you see any tie between the hull and the Godhammer?
This was the god of rebirth, and his light does not for dear wood. I heard some claim it's his death. It's closed the halls to new souls. The hollow have their roots in the acts of women. Feel it.
Keep troubling me and I may extend the title for each question. Enough questions for now. Let's keep us until the next campfire. Yeah, so I remember this pretty fucking well. Durance has a lot of dialogue, but he only gives it in short bursts. You need to wait until after you've rested again before you can get some more. And Canna, you actually have something to say.
Poor Mayorwald. He couldn't contend with all that he knew of himself. A cruel fate.
I don't think knowledge is a problem. He said that if I find out what caused this, it might help me. That is true, and there is no such thing, in my experience, as too much knowledge. Come, we'll see your answers, and mine, I hope.
It's good to be on the road again. A wonder, nothing rare in the people of Rowett, but often I think my alone in loving the land as much as the sea. What will we see next, I wonder?
How are you holding up? I'll make it. Besides, Takawa woman has scars. I'll finally be as popular as the Cannoneers. Tell me about yourself.
Shall I tell? I am Kanarua, born in the royal city of Takoa, which rules the Ranganui. There, that is a solemn enough start. I am a Lord Chancellor of college there, or at least a student of lore, both.
The accent's right, but you don't look like you're from Rowett. Do I not? I take your meaning. My family's from the Deadfire Archipelago, but I've never seen the islands. My parents traveled to Rauatai many years before I was born. They found more opportunity in Rauatai. My mother took to crafting cannons, a pirate that she is, and my father's work with coral caught the eye of someone important. And then the Ranganui himself. The rest followed. What made you leave?
I was on the usual at first. Theology, the traditions, when the Great Teeth was completed. It was all my father had hoped for, the greatest commission he had ever received. But it was also a sign that Rauatai was changing, looking inward. Meanwhile, I was neck deep in the Razan nations, marveling at all the things that lay beyond our borders.
And in so many of those books and records, I found accounts of ancient Ingwith. They told a great hunger for Ingwithan relics. And why shouldn't they? It was a civilization from Withens learned to read. I decided that my third degree would be history, and that I would study Ingwithans. They were at the heart of so much discussion abroad, so many discoveries. It drew some mockery. We'd watched a deer draw into several conflicts with others over these ruins. Takoa had its own concerns. And soon I found it. Section of the Tanvia Orator, in an Adiran translation of ancient Ingwithan script. Just there, without explanation. It seemed like a gift from the gods. Tell me about the lore chanters. I mean, I'm one of them. Just not one from Raritai. My eldest brother thinks we spend our in song, weaving wreaths of flowers, but the truth is less exciting than that. The college preserves what knowledge our people have gathered. I would have it said that there are lore chanters, that the lore chanters are Rautai, for without them we would have no beginning, no sense of how far we've come. We would forget ourselves with every generation. I'm only a student yet, but someday I'll return, and tell the keeper what I learned, and she will add my verses to the chant. Is the gate of great teeth. Much as it sounds, a maze of walls, like the teeth of some nautical terror. It sits outside the city, and guards Takoa from invaders and storms. The storms have always been more trouble. Nui Tanri, the angry titans, throwing themselves against Raotai's shore. Invaders I'm not so sure about, but perhaps I'm like the man who, being dry, throws off his rain cloak during a storm. So my mother would have me believe. The Ranganui. A king, ruler over all of Raotai. He's people well, and he's treated my family very well. My father and he are great friends, as much as one can be with a king. Tell me about Raotai.
Ah, Rauatai. Shall I describe the pearl-white sands, the sapphire waters, the multi-hued tiles of the rooftops, like a mosaic upon the coast?
Tell me about the kingdom of Raotai in general. It's a long journey by ship to the north, past Examatal and across the sea. We've settled much of the Gulf, and established more recent trading colonies along the coast. We live as best we can, like anyone else. Our life is plagued by storms, and so we stand together, whatever corner of Raotai we hail from, otherwise we'd never survive. Tell me about the city you're from, Takoa.
Takoa is doubly famed, a royal city and a coral harbor. Ganui's palace is there. A fleet of royal ships sitting outside the Gate of Great Teeth. Every so often, you'll hear the cannon being tested.
The finest ships in Raotai, and so the world, are anchored there, and some of our brightest minds toil away at the artillery. My mother, for instance. Myself, I have no talent with her, but you carried a gun before I stole it. Takoa is also Lore College, of course. We get a great many people travelling long distances to speak with her, or else hear the chin peruse the books. At least that's how it was when I was. Things are a little different. Surely Valian finest. The grandest, sure, is in the water. Sleek Rautai catch heavens, and I'd still run circles around your Valian carracks. Tell me about. No, it sounds like you miss home. Some parts of it, those silver cliffs. Oh, hold on a minute. some parts of those silver cliffs, the sea, those at least know each. The day I booked for a deer, the sunrise upon the water, and I leapt overboard and swam for home. Koa has a lot of this artillery. Rauatai has a lot of artillery. We've made great advances with explosives. What artillery masters advised in the Godhammer bomb during the Saints' War. In Rauatai, our efforts are more modest. Bombards, cannon. We're having some luck with mortars. You might ask my sister if you ever visit Takoa. Captains the Ratuana. She knows far more than I and enjoys great fame for it. It may be very traditional, but you've Dryden demagogue the subject of artillery. They'd lose what support they've gathered. Do only Amaua live there? Far from it. The Amaua arrived more recently and formed the greater number, but others have joined us, so long as they call themselves subjects of the rank. My neighbours are Orlans, for instance. Fine people, though they care little for the sea. People hear that the coastal Amaua are a cruel people. Cruel in the same manner that Orlans are feral and the peaceful, yes? Amaua conquered Rauatai long and drove their enemies from the lands in the doing of it. Today the great kingdom of Rauat, humans, Orlans, even island Amaua. What the campaign of conquest says about those responsible, you'll have to experience. In any case, yes, the reputation exists. Good if you want work, less so if you would like to cook. What is this sacred book you're looking for?
The Tan Ratoa. It's not really a book. It's been passed down over the years in the form of a chant. I actually found it a little strange at first, seeing it in stone. It's not quite the same as a song of worship, though we have paeans to the gods as well. More a kind of moral guide. It gives us something to aspire to. The, model of a virtuous citizen of Rauatai.
Why look for it out?
There have been arguments as to the chant's true interpretation, new translations even. But any rendition of it I find in the ruins of Engwith predate those translations by 2,000 years. And finding it here also proves that we still have much to gain from trading with other cultures. I'd be lying if I said I'm not looking forward to the look on everyone's faces back. But in the long term, I just think that we can learn a lot from the Engwithians. A civilization like that is something to aspire to, a model for Rauatai as a whole, and not just its people. And I want to prove this is worthwhile. Traveling, seeing what it is. It's been so different from sitting in Chanter Hall and studying books.
You came all the way just to win an argument?
More or less. It wasn't a popular when I suggested it. The idea that we shared the Tanvi Oratoha with some older culture, doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't my family is from the Dead Fire Islands. If I had a copper pond for every chanter who suggested that it's just not in my nature to conquer. My siblings, my parents, they build walls and cannons and ships. I've tried to explain. It isn't that I think they aren't necessary. Rauatai closes itself off from trade, turns on its people over tradition, fall behind. We'll be the ones getting conquered. I think my tries to understand it.
Wouldn't it have crumbled away by now?
Much of Ingwith's writing is lost to us, but an engraving would survive. I found several tablets at the Exometal. The scholar Gabranos, in particular, have been fond of writing on the walls. I may have to help me carry it if it's a large stone.
Sounds boring.
You'll see a few children nodding off in the middle, I grant you. But the chant is not something taken lightly, and two factions vie for the king. We've been spared the civil wars and petty conflicts of our neighbors thus far. I'd rather it stay that way.
So describe this virtuous citizen.
Beautiful, learned, honest. The sticking point is loyal to the people of Rauatai above all others. in their defense and bold operation, tire battle or industry, an inspiration to one's people. But it seems not that far a leap from there to the idea that we must cast out foreign influences.
Is that what you aspire to be?
Doesn't everyone want to be a citizen?
You think the Engwithans were the true authors?
I don't know that the distinction is necessarily important. Rowet's long history, and our people have come from many different places. It matters less who wrote it than that I have found pieces all around the world. Wherever it came from, it will be Rawetai that decides what becomes of it. All the races and peoples of our kingdom coming together to create a great empire. You see then that I am in my way.
You're being hunted by the Leaden Key? So it seems. It's all absurd. What harm could I possibly do them by finding this text? Perhaps they don't like Rawetai? How did all this begin? I ran into them in Adir, or rather, they sought me out. In Adir, there were many people who had observed the Engwithan ruins in the Deerwood, and I spent some time conferring with experts. In the libraries, I found accounts of sites and examined, and it was there I travelled next. But just before that, I found myself approached by a woman in dark robes, who bade me abandon studies for my own safety. I ignored her, but I began to have the sense after that of being followed. And after that, well, one ambush in the road I could call misfortune, but 3? Who are these people? I thought it only fell into their activities in turn. I found word of a Leaden, but past that it was ravings and superstitions. I might as well have gone around whether somebody had ever seen a wolf flying through the air. Might well tell me yes, but the validity of their accounts is questionable. They don't seem worried about this. They haven't had much luck. The last one came up on me at dig site and slammed a muddy beam. I tried to catch him. Reflex, I should think. But he went right over the side at 100 feet. I'm not really sure what he had in mind, but I doubt that was it. Do you know anything about this place? What don't I know? Actually, quite a lot. There isn't very much known about endless paths by anyone. We're writing the history book as we speak, or walk. What I do know is that old Nua is said a great king, ruling most of men and women, built this place as a monument, but the paths have been here 2,000 years. The Adirans claimed it after them, and after them came a host of treasure hunters and explorers. There are bones down here for every era. Okay, well it was a bunch of talking for you. Sorry if I'm a little distracted. I just got word that a relative died tonight.
Aye, you're right. No sense listening to that old bam pot.
Damn Virago, not now!
Aloth, would you like to talk to me? No. Fine, whatever. I could have gone a little further into... gone a little further into the dungeon. No, I remember there's combat to be had here, but I remember it was relative combat, so I'm not sure we could have taken it, especially without resting anyway. Um, sorry for the delay, I'm just having a conversation with someone. As I said, a relative just passed away tonight, so it's kind of a conversation I have to have. Tell you what, I'm gonna take a short break for 5 or 10 minutes while I have that, and I'll be back just after. Okay. Sorry about the wait. Slightly longer than I said. Apologies.
I felt Mayor Ward's passing. You slew.
But, things are sorted now. We'll continue for a little longer. No choice.
It saddens me to hear it. But part of me is grateful to no longer have to wait and worry in darkness. This place has always known its master, long had one. It has a will of its own, which has little to do with the castle and much to do with the land it's built on. It looks to you as Mayor Wald's successor now, whether you care for it or not. A dubious honor, inheriting a force both broken and cursed. But in the right hands, it could be so much more. If you had only seen it today, will you stay?
Mirwald said, let's go to the City of Defiance in search of the Queen. I see. If it's Defiance Bay you see, I'm sorry to tell you that you've come a long way for nothing. The Eastern Barbican collapsed decades ago, and Mirwald never got around to building it. There's a dead end. He got as far as gathering materials before his mind became preoccupied. I could make arrangements to have it repaired if it is your will. When it ceased to be the previous master's will, I became powerless to do anything about it. For what am I but the master's instrument? It would take less than finding another route to Defiance Bay. How do I repair the Barbican? Mirwald set aside materials for the Barbican, and they're available to you. In the future, if you wish to make further repairs, we will need coin for supplies and labour. What does being the master of Cadnua entail? Why, there are many responsibilities involved in maintaining a keep. The extent to which you wish to get involved is entirely up to you, of course. Part of the reason I'm here is to ensure that things run smoothly in your absence, provided we have been given instruction. If you instruct me in which repairs you wish to conduct first, I will make the necessary arrangements. These may take some time to finish, but each will provide you with additional resources once they're complete. Given someone to place them, we can hire tradesmen to provide you with supplies or ingredients. Repairing the keep will raise your prestige and draw both helpful individuals and unwelcome attention from bandits and opportunists. If we can raise the keep's security in turn, these will become less of a concern. You should know, however, that the position does come with some risk. Your name will grow in fame, and you must contend with threats to the keep. And then there are other things. What do you mean when you said this was cursed? Mirwald's curse was his own, a watcher's curse, but his predecessors have not fared better. There is a presence within the keep, or rather far beneath it. At least such has been the conclusion drawn by all who have come to this place, for while spirits still linger in the endless oft speak of a master below. Every settle here has failed, from the time of our Adirian colonists onward. Beasts ran from the endless paths, and you lord or lady is no more. The one who dwells below, this master, does not tolerate rivals, it seems. I have seen from time to time intrepid explorers descend till they claim to what answers they can, but none return. This force which has kept Cadnua a barren ruin, and robbed me of hopes. The endless paths! That, my friend, is where I must go, where we must go if you will go. Whatever devil beneath, think too what not you will find. Perhaps this master speaks Adirian? What are the endless paths? The endless paths of Odnua. That is the name given to the labyrinth beneath the keep. The Earl, we were warned on Fathens that the site was cursed, and there is a legend attached to it, though at the time we thought nothing of it. The ruins were built, it is said, by a powerful Angwithan named Odnua, there until his people turned against him. They destroyed his endless paths and filled many of the upper tunnels in with soil and stone. No one living knows how far down the tunnel reach, and few who eventually have returned. There is much talk of riches and trade. The promise of Ingwithan alone has drawn many fortune seekers. To their deaths, I fear. Who is this master below? I could not say with any certainty. I believe it must be tied to the man said to have been the architect of the paths. The Ingwithan tyrant, Odnua. Some claim his spirit endures, or at least has laid a curse upon the site. I cannot imagine much remains of his work, for the ruins have been here 1,000 years or more. But what is left is impressive. The Earl certainly so. I have seen while below the hand of the great statue Odnua constructed. Perhaps it is a statue of Odnua himself. But am I not the master of Cadn? Of course you are. The keep would have no other. The endless paths are a different thing entirely. It is unfortunate, really, that they are so closely entwined. If the master below is not dealt with, there will always be a threat to the keep from within. I know it's much to take in, but if you would remain, if you would be lord of this place, then I can only advise you seek out this foe before it destroys you. You must know, the queen you are looking for. Prince Bay has no queen. The Mequins of Adir haven't reigned there since the war. The only queen with any power there is Wudica. I'm told they erected an exquisite temple in her honor there, but I was never able to see it. If you mean to go there, we can get started right away in repairing the Barbican. You need to tell me what you wish to do, and I'll make the necessary arrangements. Merwell the ledger as it happens, and I've taken the liberty of updating it. You could take a look if you wish. Then we'll get underway at once. Know, my lord, that this is but the first and least of a great many undertakings. The keep supported a great many buildings and servants for many years. If you should wish it, we can repair some of the outlying structures, and these will bring you wealth and recognition, drawing people to your service. Rebuilding the defences will keep your grounds from becoming overrun, as they did under Merwald's keeping. You need not choose all at once. I am pledged to your aid, and so long as you are master here, always be linked. You need not step upon these grounds to speak with me. Wherever your travels may take you, you can make your will known to me if you but reach out. Oh, but first, of course, the Barbican. There we go. So now... that's just completed then, okay. So, one thing I wanted... I think main keep's gonna be pretty important. That was all my money. Oh shit, more.
I confess, I was hoping our meeting with Merwald would go a little differently. But then, you have gained an entire keep. I don't think I've seen anyone inherit land that quickly since Kyne the Younger read her father's will.
Hold on 1 second. Okay. I wish I could have gotten through to him. He was far gone, but don't worry. The past is there that we might learn from it. I'm sure we'll find more answers in Defiance Bay.
It will give you a base from which to go searching at least. And then, there are secrets beneath the keep yet. With you at the helm, it should be easier to explore the endless paths.
Yeah, we're not gonna go down into the endless paths just yet, though. Okay, so first off,
Bit just like your breeches, scholar lad.
I beg your pardon?
Nothing. I said nothing.
we touch this, then we have a way down to Woodend Plains. But we're not gonna go there yet. First, we're gonna go all the way back to Gilded Vale. Then we're gonna head down to Anslog's Compass. Check out the Eastern Wood. 'Cause I don't think we went there. Now that I've got Katawa available, keep like as into place and do sites, I'll be able to like keep some progression back and catch up on the side quests and such that I before.
Too long has it been since we made camp.
Oth seems lost in. He flinches when you're rocking sharp breath through his.
What can I do for you?
Are you alright?
Of course. Processing some of the usual things we've seen lately. And if Mayorwall believed, it would seem a certain future ahead.
There's no speculating now.
Perhaps Defiance Bay holds the answers we need. That old watcher. I don't know what I expected. Sure wasn't that.
He said you had something to ask him.
Nah. Well, it's kinda now. Got a dumb idea in my head. Don't know why I thought it. That's probably the first my hopes up for in, I don't know, year. At least I got that out of it.
There's no need to be. I won't judge.
Yes, Ferris, you did bring me to see him. Those rumors prevail about my brother. About how he turned and fought for Widewind. Been on my mind for some time now. Thing about Woad, he always knew what was right to do. Had to fight for Deerwood against him to be our god. What I had to do too. Was right. Hearing claims that he died for Ceres, that got me. Not that he chose I, but that I had. Didn't seem Widewind had in store, but he really was Aethys. I thought maybe this old Watcher would have died. If it was true, like he could read it in my soul or something. Use our connection.
Me for help. Guess 'cause I didn't know you. Hard to trust a stranger this year.
Of course, I knew the truth. Why? I just had this idea. The idea made me feel I didn't want to lose that.
Really, if I want out about my brother, I shouldn't be watchers. I should be stars. So why don't you? If there was anything right about it, they'd have it and define. They got an archive of it.
You've done a lot already. But if you could see fit to pay that archive a visit with me, you know, knowing my luck, the rest crazy and try to kill me, I'd feel better with you with me.
Okay, first of all, let's... So you can go return that, sell off a whole lot of loot that we did. We'll get a little bit of money back, and then press. First, let's make sure there's nothing we want to hold on to. Yeah, definitely give the barbarian slightly better armor. Actually, that'll do. Excuse me, where'd your face go? Interesting. Alright, I guess those helms are broken. Just wanted to see what it looked like, but okay then. Oh yeah. Didn't look at Erwald's grimoire. What's he got? Spirit shield. Disrupt enemy spellcasters. Hey, fireball. And I'm assuming 300 copper. We do that right now, but we will in a moment once we sell off some stuff. I'm gonna put that in as quick items. So just pierce and crush instead of crush slash. Everything else is identical. Okay. Right, I think we're good to sell everything else we have off.
Well met, friend.
I found that shipment you were waiting on. Why, so you have. This is excellent news. We can finally get back to work and show you real Black Hammer quality. None of these flimsy little swords. Here, I'll give you a taste. Might not have had much in the way of materials to work with, but it's still Black Hammer craftsmanship. You go on and take that. And here, some coin for your troubles too. Did you find anyone with the wagon? Bandits overtook the wagon. I doubt your people survived. Poor fools. Always told them they ought to hire some guards instead of palming the extra coin. I'll have to hire on more hands. Don't suppose you want to settle in Gilded Vale? Try some delivery work? You have my thanks for your assistance, friend. Give me some time to work the forge, and you'll have your pick of the next run of weapons. Large shield. You're the only one that uses a shield. So 4 more deflection, but 4 less accuracy. Bash Witch. A little bit of crush damage with a bit of interrupt. I mean, sure. Why not? Use it for now.
Hail, traveler.
Okay. So. Actually. Oh god, that's 5,000 copper. It's a very cool pike. 4,000 copper. Interesting looking arbalest. Property speed. Hold on. So plus 20% attack speed. Crits can inflict prone, but slight decrease in crit damage. Interesting. Spell striking. It grants jolting touch and crits once per encounter. Friendly aura for 3 meters around them, plus 5 to all defenses. Interesting. Give me some camping supplies. And a torch. And now sell. Okay, now I want you to learn Fireball. Oh no, do not erase it. Learn it. Now you can... Oh, it's already in your grimoire. Interesting. Is it also in this grimoire? No, but throw it in. How much money do we have now? Probably beam inventory. Only 400. So not much, but it's something. Let me out. Now, let's go rest at the inn, then we can clear up the side quest we didn't explore when we were passing through here. Hello? 1 second. Hold, served. He favour in his left leg, and there's a dark stain up the fabric of his trousers. Even so, he greeted light bow. I imagine he was very grateful for the return of supplies. He's a good smith, a good man at that. A cruel master, but a good man. Gilded Vale is full of such people who deserve to watch their home descend in madness. I aim to save them. Ask your help in doing so. Who are you? Only determined to see Gilded Vale to its former glory. There was a time, stranger, who was worthy of its name. The wheat shone like gold and the village's people lived well. I don't know about the golden crops, but lies anyway. And what has become of it? Whatever's caused the blightlands is not the fault of it. Radric looks to for crimes we have not committed, and in turn he's blown. Not, and he'll pay for what. Aye, Kolsk, the flame. Like many tyrants, surrounded himself with stern women for fear of it. And so, if you would press on, however, I wonder if help one another. What is it you want me to do? It is a grim task, I ask, but I assure you there's no other. Lord Radric must be. Two Gilded Vale suffered under wrath. He would cure legacy by ensuring their own village to be afflicted. I fear his own wife may be at risk. There's no mercy in him. We have not stood idle, and I breached the defences until ending Radric's rules. We entered through under cover of night, but did. Dark creep down there in the dungeons, work of Radric's animancer. It falls to you. Lord Radric has called for reinforcements, and soon they'll be picking him. Our time, and in this hour I must assistance where I can. He does more than some rubble-strewn after this. Fling him from the rampart, or else cut his head from his shoulder. Or not. Once his throat empty, Gilded Vale will have the stewardship that it deserves. By what right would you unchain of the Deerwood? Things are different abroad, stranger. Here in the Deerwood, we do not wear self-made lords, the cruel whims of nobles that deserve their titles. And I suppose this fellow thinks he'd make a better lord. I've heard this one before. Lord Radric has proven himself incapable of rule. He has brought it on himself. Sure, I'll deal with him. Then I commend your courage, and thank you for your assistance. But I would not send without due warning. Radric's hold is soldiers and sellswords still to Radric. They'll lead to intruders. In truth, they'll be all the more alert for failed efforts. A frontal assault would be unwise. If you would brave it, you steps and seek out the sewers at the eastern edge of them. But several were captured, and maybe it's been found and sealed anew. Those men command. I would be if you found some means of help. Once you get inside, seek out my old friend Nedmar. He's a high Baratheon, now that God has fallen. And, in difficult circumstances, he'll listen to shining God. And so brightly as when the moniker is up, ash does not shine. It's like if someone was to call you the active priest, Durance. Canadair can help you reach Radric. Resides in the upper level of Rad, protected by garrisonaries. You'll have to keep to the shadows if you mean to reach him with farming the entire keep. Thank you for your advice. I'll make good use of it. I consider blessing the gods I have found stands honor and duty. Radric's hold past the Earthernwood, not far to the east. May you victory, friend. I wish you luck. Okay. So we can go unseat a lord at some point soon. We also need to go down into the Temple of Aethys at some point, but I remember there being some relatively combat in there.
Hail, traveler.
Actually, come back.
Good day, stranger.
Yeah, so level 3 adventure. I think mercenaries are always a level below mine. So I'm level 4, so I can only hire up to level 3, but even then that's 750 copper, which I
Hello.
just don't have. Let's just take the common room here. And we'll probably rest again before attempting Radric's Hold, and we'll take the perception and mechanics bonuses when we go there. And now that we've rested, let's see if anyone has anything new to say.
What's on your mind?
If doubts and curiosity plague you, getting your knuckles on the wrong door.
Do you know anything of the Deerwood and the surrounding nations? Deerwood's the best of them. Still has spirit, if a land one. It's a place where a man can walk freely, even make new roads, and that's a rare thing in this world. Its generations, however, are damned, so no new footfalls may spell an end to it. The Hollow Barn? Yes, Aethys' last stab at revenge after he was ended. Aethys had a rebirth, and his light does not fall in the Deerwood. I've heard some claim it's his doing, his death. It's closed the halls to new souls. I don't believe it. The problem's closer than that, and as always, it involves women and men. And they're always circling, within and without. The republics, Red Ceres, the Saints' War, one big spiral, shredding everything around it. How do you feel about the Valen Republics? Fortune seekers garbed in robes of office, manipulators, traders and traitors all. I'm from the Republic. Is that a problem? Couldn't stand to remain? Don't blame you. You look more humble than most. Any country so obsessed with style might as well be wearing scarves over their eyes. You think the Republics mean the Deerwood harm? The Deerwood had best be vigilant, or they'll turn them into slaves if ink dries in the trade treaty. The Deerwood and all its internal riches is too tempting, especially if someone else tames the country and the face painters for them. Painters? Tribes, Glenfathens, cluster around the ruins like flies. What about Red Ceres? Too many adjectives to that so-called nation. Civil unrest, economic collapse, all tinder, just needing the right spark. Some farmer shows up, takes it into himself, then takes it in his head. This divine kingdom he tries to set up goes about as you'd expect. Suddenly, the population of heretics goes up by about half and again, and Aethys starts turning his bloodstains to every blasphemer he can find. Cleaning house is one way to put it. Purge is another. Put them God in their place, though, with enough force to kill that damn country, too. Not a supporter of the country of Red Ceres, are you? Surely you know where this is going by now. It's not a country. It's a gathering of cowards, 80 puppets. They used to be an optimistic bunch. A bright bunch. Their undoing. Should have been misery without letting a farmer lead him to a brighter ruin. Almost Aethys' puppets too. Put an end to that. They dangled in his strings. Widewind dangled in theirs. They would never have any success in the battlefield had their god not come down. The saints war. Needed to call on their god to have a chance. Tell me about the Saints' War. Keep forgetting your feet are new to the Deerwood. The Saints' War.
Wasn't a war. It was a god stepping past himself. The country of Raed Saris and all their heathens. They're paying for it now. By my count, the fire should have roared through their country with more force, catching all their souls. Truth, it wasn't even a war. It was a cautionary tale about pride. Specifically, Widewind's pride. He should have stayed a farmer.
What happened? Was, what, 15, 16 years ago? 2807? My memories are back with the younger me. I don't hold on to dates. I hold on to actions and causes. The war was an act of arrogance, straight from Raed Saris' twitching legs. A man thinking himself more than a man. Want to kill someone? Tell him a god speaks through him. Then tell him he means him to lead, which puts him at the front of any army. And the army was as strong as you'd expect for Raed Saris, as sick as that country was to begin with. Yet a war was likely just what they needed. What was wrong with the country? Raed Saris has its share of troubles. It deserves all of them. It deserved Widewind. He was a light them to flame. Saris was in decline. Idiot poison already eating its veins. Economic bleeding of their faith. Then Widewind, this farmer, claims to take up Aethys in the flesh, and gives them the worst kind of hope. What happened then? They crown him. They make him king. The worst kind of blasphemy. And once there's a crown in his head, and the god in his flesh, why, he starts making changes. Divine changes. Then he decides he's going to change us. Save us. How? He marches on the Deerwood to free us. To free us from our beliefs, like he freed the other souls in Raed Saris. Old Morn offers up its belly with no resistance, and it's spared. The bloodshed starts when he sacks Mercy Vale. Touch of irony that. Puts it to the flame. Cold Morn? Cowards. And Cold Morn is an apt name for them. They lie frozen while their fellows burned. They'll pay him a great price one day for such cowardice. What did Aethys do next? Aethys keeps marching. Deerwood takes to the trees, cutting at his flanks, his scouts, his troops. It seemed near hopeless. Until Halgot Citadel, the Godhammer. There we put him to the flame, burned the god out of him, if there ever was one to begin with. Dozen brave men and women take to the bridge, make a stand. Then we torch him there with a fire of the Godhammer. What is the Godhammer?
Gods have taken flesh, in all respects, taking willing and unwilling vessels. It's not a violation, it's what gods do, as long as they accept all that comes with it. Men are weak. Gods? Well, we showed old Widewind that he was flesh and blood, no matter how much light was pouring out of his farmer's hands. Took men of faith to build a weapon, a godhammer. Judgment. Proved him dead at Halgot Citadel.
I hate how some of his voice lines are actually voiced, and the others just aren't. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, their independence. There are few that would deny that Aethys overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Aethys of this. A fire and force so terrifying, so bright, it burned a god away. A weapon that would burn brighter than Aethys, and we led him to it and burned him at the stake. The stake was the Godhammer, and we impaled him on it. Who fashioned it? The nation did, yes, with its faithful. We weren't going to for any more. We didn't need a pretender on a vessel. We primed another vessel, and then let it fly. Only taunts by men, and that was enough to lure him across the bridge, and right into the new sun. It let Raid Sarah see how bright their arrogance had become, and became a symbol by which we their purge with one of our own. Purges?
We started saving the Aothasians from themselves, burning any that didn't die with their god. Heresy in Raed Ceres is one thing. Heresy here in the Deerwood comes with a more personal touch.
So you just answered their crime with one of your own?
As I see it, every Aothasian who still lives in the Deerwood puts the nation at risk, is another dagger held to the throat of faith. Root them out, burn them, or send them back to Raed Ceres to wallow in the blood of their failure.
Okay, that's all he'll talk to us about until we rest again. Kinda, anything new from
Yes,
you?
my friend?
Nope. God, that was basically a line of dialogue. Took all of that time to get the information. And 2 paragraphs of it were really voice acted. He still has so much more conversation brought to little pieces after every rest. Okay, so Esternwood will lead us over to Radrick's Keep. But I want to go down to Anslog's Compass. We did definitely explore all of McGran's Fork, didn't we? Pretty sure we did. But I'll have a quick look at it. Go down to this, meet that. What was her name? It's Kaliska's sister. Off, something like that. Need to meet that supposedly has for her unborn child Anslog's Compass. We also have to go and Gilded Vale and go check out that bear cave. Yes, we definitely did fully explore this area. So then here. I'll just make that seems smart. Hello. 2 villagers stand by one of the tide pools, breathing harshly, clearly and look up nervously as you approach.
Welcome.
If you're here to fish, as we were, stranger, you'll want to avoid the compass proper. A lot of ships wind up across the rocks here, so we didn't think much of the wreckage, until we heard something. A terrible noise. It was a survivor, but he wasn't alive. Moving, but not truly alive. It was awful. What are you doing out here? Fishing, of course. Except I lost my fish, flung it at the head of one of those monsters. We were looking at the tide pools over and thought we'd down by the rocks. Got the fright of our lives. We'll have to make do with the nets here, or go. You said there were a lot of shipwrecks here? All the time. It's a place, but dangerous as anything to sail. Good fishing most days. I think we'll look farther up the coast next time. What did you see? Corpses. Walking corpses. We don't want of it, whatever the cause. Maybe we can find something in the pools and then we're headed straight home. Farewell. Good tidings to... Wait, do you hear that? Zorips.
Word healed on Solomon.
Did they both survive? No, one of them died. I think. Or she just left. Yeah, she may have just left already.
Word healed on Solomon.
Hello, Ranga. You find yourself facing a towering Amao woman. Her skin is the warm brown of a dying sunset, with pale fish-white patches at her throat and hands. Wavy red-brown hair, pulled in tight braids around a stripe of bare skin that follows the curve of her skull, flows down over her broad shoulders.
How do you do?
For medicines and craftworks, or to share the fire? Offra, that was her name. Offra sent me here. You know, some way to ensure there's not a hollow barn. Ah, more of Lord Radric's frightened flock. You're kind to come all this way. Poor Offra must be herself. I imagine she gave you something for payment? Whatever it is, you keep it. I don't need coin. I need you to do something for me. There's a Zara to the northeast, led by priests. Tana was from there some time ago, and their scouts still lurk about this place, waiting for an opportunity to end his life. Zorp lets out a rattling squawk, head drooping. Today I'll have to go for supplies, and I'll come back to find my assistants. How will I help anyone then? You rid me of the nonsense, and I'll do what I can for her, and throw something for you too. Alright, I'll be back when it's done. Good, good. You'll find them easily enough, I think. Good luck. Yay, he's smiling at us.
Good day to you.
Okay, you don't show much of interest.
Word healed on Solomon.
Good thing purposes, they drop a lot of spear shields that we can sell for a little extra. One second. Oh fuck, I remember this cave.
Word healed on Solomon.
Okay, it's not going too badly. Oh shit. I can't select. Oh, he's been fucking confused or turned against us or something. Okay, good. There we go. Okay, this wasn't nearly as bad here much later than it did in our first attempt at this game. Yeah, that actually went absolutely fine.
Laying low.
Aha.
Look there.
This is why we need to sneak every once in a while. Find. Which is slightly better than his scepter. With accuracy and damage. And a hat. Aloth. Take this. Who wants a hat? Not you. Also not you. Hater, would you like a hat? Yeah, you want a hat. So we got zombies, we got Zorps. Page from Full Travels. I met a Deerwood woman while in Guild. She was an invaluable time in that sorry village. Agreed to accompany me some towards Anslog's company. We parted ways in the wilds of Rand's Fork, but I gave it so that she might remember me fondly. Perhaps I will return someday after all. And we get turquoise.
Steady does it.
Word is healed on song.
Alright, let's try this spell. That didn't seem to do. Those are the Zorps we had to kill for that.
You give me any more gifts and people will start playing favorites.
I shall be discreet.
How is it that so grand a journey should lead me here? Only the deer would call this pitiable lagoon a sight to see. Experienced here is misfortune. I thought to explore by the waters, only to discover sporlings. I went wanted compass and lost the bulk of my layers when I tripped over some drift. And at last I made the dragon skull nearby, nest by some foolish wolves. I'll return to kill as soon as I catch my breath. Zarbs do not appear to have.
I shall be discreet.
Ghouls.
Word peeled on sorrow.
Just leads back around here, so yeah, this is the only other way in Anslog's compass we haven't been to yet.
Word peeled on sorrow.
Durance, do you want to not die, maybe? Never mind, just get knocked out, I guess.
Throw up
Sorrow.
Jesus. That works. Alright, let's throw in a save since that was kind of a lot of ghouls. Traveling west towards Gilded, I encountered a fellow traveler of considerable intelligence, engaged in pleasant conversation. It came to light that Lo had the most execrable bits upon him. I gave him sets that he might bet at valiant craftsmanship, lost the ability to speak. May they serve him well, for he intended to cross a wilderness of Black Meadow, and it is a pleasant place.
Hello? Hello?
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Ah, so this is a compass.
Steady.
Okay, back to Rango then. Seems like we've cleared everything in the compass. Okay. It just reconnected for a moment. Oh, hello. After Cerny, it seems it's time to part ways with my travelling from New Hyomar. Could not see the couple together. Perhaps he will have as grand a time at Garen's grasp. I've given him my gloves for I will hardly need them weather.
Give some people will start thinking you're playing favorites.
I guess I just walked straight past that last time.
How do you...
Is it done? Rid of the interminable Zarps? Scree? Oh, Tana, do not mind yours. They're all dead. Good. I'm tired of attempts to surprise us. Here, for your trouble. Now we can get underway with my bargain. So, a couple of potions. I'll get started in the mixture. Need one more ingredient. Spores from the creatures in there. Sporelium. It's a useful material. I need one for the mixture. You're welcome to any others you met. Got some already? You do? Excellent. One here and I'll add it to the cauldron. This should not. The mixture is ready. Tell her to drink it before it induces sleep. She'll feel more energetic in the mornings. Tell her to eat fish and cheese to sustain a healthy appetite for strength. She's a rather woman from what I remember of. I thought this was a cure. To ailments of the body, I not cure an affliction of the soul, certainly not one afflicted by this. I've explained names. People believe. Perhaps this will help. Faith is a powerful thing. In the meantime, she'll proved, and if she would not be claimed by the legacy, be born healthy. That I promise. Nothing but. No, I call her a charlatan because, like she just said, has told people thing they just believe it. Fine. I've done what I can. As tell Offra, I wish her.
Laying low.
Hail, traveler.
Oh, it's here too. I think what I'm gonna do just now is I'm gonna go back, turn that into Offra, rest at the inn again, and then I'm gonna call it a day there. Next time we to Valewood, see the Bear Cave, go to Estronwood as well, etc., etc. Okay, Offra's house was northwest corner, Gilded Vale, I think. Somewhere up here? Yeah.
Well met, friend.
You were some time away. I worried you wouldn't return. Is that it? Have you brought it? What did Ranga say? Yes, I have it. Here it is. You really did it. Oh, bless you, bless you. I don't know what I would have done without you. Now my baby will be safe. I can't thank you enough. Wait, you should know something about that potion. What do you mean? It doesn't do what you think. Ranga says it'll make you feel better, but that's it. But everyone said I should have known. I've been so stupid. How could I think? I'm sorry. I wasted your time. You don't know that your child will meet the same fate. Perhaps this is best left to chance. You're right. I shouldn't turn to such methods. There may still be another way. I won't take the potion, but thank you all the same for acquiring it for me. I'll still take the potion. If it'll make you physically a little healthier, then by all means, drink the potion. Here, take this. You can keep what remains of Ranga's payment too. And take this as well. It was Hathor's. I've been holding on to it, but I think it'll do you more good. Ooh, a cloak of protection. I suppose all I can do now is pray. Perhaps the gods will be kind. Well, it's the same as the one I've got right now. Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. So, resistance to poison and disease, dodging AoE attacks, and resistance to mental afflictions like paralysis. Let's give it to the barbarian, honestly. He needs as much protection as he can get. Touch a cat. Alright, we'll go get stuck because I went the wrong way. We'll go rest at the inn, save, and call it a day there. Awesome. This is awkward. Here we go. I also wanted to see, because I gave a few stealth. I wonder if he can get to that chest that we unlocked but couldn't look because someone was standing in the room. Was this one?
Let's see what lies this way.
That's probably enough time. It was not enough time, but I got the stuff. So what do you get? Potion of Spirit Shield, damage reduction and more concentration. Scroll of Tanglefoot, and minor ring of protection. So +5, fortitude, reflex, and will. Yeah, sure, I'll take that for myself. Might as well sell off more stuff while we're at a merchant. You know what? Everyone can have a stack of lockpicks. Why not? Anything else I care to keep? No.
Hello.
Stash is all fine.
Well met, friend.
Okay, sleep for free again. Since we're just going to be going looking for more combat next time. And next time I'll have to do some more talking with Durance. So 3.5 hours. It was a slightly shorter stream than usual, but had some stuff been happening today, so it's a little justifiable. But yeah, this week I should be able to do quite a few games, and I'll try and do at least a short one every week. It's not going to be like that every week though. It's just going to depend on circumstance. But either way, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for hanging out, watching. If you want to see more, I've got my YouTube link in my info page. My Twitter's up there. I haven't tweeted in God knows how long, but every once in a while I will. All that stuff. So if you want to see more, go check that out. For now, again, thank you very much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.